Fewer homes are selling, sales are down from last year, and if you're wondering, does this mean prices are finally about to cool off? Or maybe you're on the other side of that, and you've been watching, waiting, and prices keep climbing. And it's starting to feel like that window you were hoping for keeps moving. Seems like you heard both sides of these stories, neither one is given a clear answer. May 2026 was an interesting month because it actually has something to say about both of these questions. Let's start with the full picture across all property types, which would be detached homes, condos, vacant land. In May, there were just over 1,700 sales with the average sale price of over $427,000 with active listings of 3,739. Sales are down about 4% from this time last year. May was the first month this year where total sales came in above the 5-year average. That's a small shift, but it's a real one. Active listings also crossed above last year's level for the same time. More homes available, slightly more transaction, and the market is quietly finding some footing. The average across all property types is up about 3.7% from May of last year and nearly 7% from the 5-year average. So far, the story of 2026 has been the market's been quietly running below its historic pace, and May is the first month that starts to change that. Hey, I'm Justin Zinkowski with Royal LePage Prime Real Estate, and every month I put a breakdown of what's actually happening in the Manitoba Winnipeg real estate market. So whether you're buying or selling or just trying to keep an eye on things, here's some real numbers to work with. I've also got some free guides on my site that can help you think through your next move. There's some for first-time buyers and one for buying and selling at the same time. There's the links in the description below. Moving to detached homes across Manitoba, 1,200 sales were in May and the average price of just over $477,000. This is the highest May residential detached average price on record for the month of May. Year over year, that's up 4% from May of 2025, and that's up over about 8% from the 5-year average. Sales are down about 4.5% from last May. 5-year average for May detached sales is 1,184. This came in at 1,200, slightly above the average. Fewer sales than last year, but right in line with the longer trend. Now looking at how detached homes are actually selling, in May of 2026, 48.5% of residential detached sold over their asking price, 9.5% at list, and 42% sold below list. In May of 2025, those numbers looked like 52.4% over asking and then almost 38.5% under list. So the share of homes selling above list has come down about 4 points year over year. Competition in detached is still real. Nearly half of the homes are still selling above asking price. Where's the buying activity concentrated by price? The 250 to 500,000 range accounted for roughly 582 sales, about 48% of all detached transactions in May. That's where bulk of the market is transacting. It seems like the market is still competitive, but the days when nearly every home is fielding multiple offers above asking aren't quite as universal as they were a year ago. Here's what's actually available right now for detached buyers. Of the 1,729 active listings in May, the bulk of the inventory sits between the 300 and 500,000 range. That's where the most competition is, and that's also where most of the sales are happening. The highest listed property was 4.5 million, with the lowest being at 20,000. Seems like if you're buying in the 300 to 500,000 range, which is where the market is mostly active, you need to be ready to move. Homes in that band don't sit very long. Getting to inside of Winnipeg, there were 780 sales. The average price is almost 496,000, up about 4% from last year. Active listings in the city are almost up 8%. More homes coming into the market, even as the average price climbs. Looking at Winnipeg broken down into different quadrants through the first 5 months of 2026, Southwest continues to lead the city at over 641,000 year to date. The most expensive Northeast at just over 425,000 and the North at 388,000. The West, the most affordable inside the city, is averaging about 357,000 year to date, And if you step outside into the rural municipality, you're looking at about $445,000. That's a spread of nearly $285,000 between the most affordable parts of Winnipeg and the most expensive. Same city, same month, same market conditions. For condos, there's 247 sales in May. That's up 6.5% from May of last year. And it's the first month in 2026 where condo sales came in above the prior year's monthly figure. The average sale price of $294,000, that's down about 1.1% from May of 2025, a slight dip and an interesting contrast to what we just saw in the detached market. Fewer condos hitting the market, even as sales ticked up. Active inventory is up 6.7% year over year. Year to date, condo average prices are almost $290,000, up 4.3% from the first 5 months of 2025. Detached homes, townhouses, 136 sales in May, down about 10% from last year, with the average sales price of over $391,000, up 2.5% year over year. The headline for attached homes this month is that the inventory number, active listings, are up 16.4% from last year. Stepping outside of Winnipeg and looking at the surrounding communities like Headingley, West St. Paul, Oak Bluff, St. Andrews, combined, these communities recorded 154 sales in May, with the average sale price of almost $579,000, up about 3% from May of 2025, where the price was $562,000. Sales are down last May. The volume slowdown here is more pronounced than inside the city, but prices are holding and growing, even with fewer transactions. What's also worth noting were the average lands. At almost $579,000, that's above the Manitoba-wide detached average of $477,000. The surrounding communities are commanding a premium price. Buyers in the surrounding area are paying more per home than the provincial and city average. So what does this all add up to? It's the first month in 2026 where total sales crossed back above the 5-year average. If you're buying, competition in detached is still real. Nearly half the homes are selling above the list price. And if you're selling, May of 2026 just recorded the highest detached average for homes this month. If you own a detached home, a home that's priced correctly and presented well is still moving. I've got a few guides on my site that can help you if you're a first-time seller, one on pricing strategy, one for buying and selling at the same time, and first-time buyers. The links are in the description below. Next month, we'll be watching whether the sales volume recovery continues into June. Thanks for watching.